My family used me for years, but one day I said no, and that's when they tried to ruin my life. If you had asked me 3 years ago whether my life was good, I would have laughed and told you it was better than good. It was perfect. I had the kind of life people post about on social media. A beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood, a wife I genuinely loved being around, 2 kids who somehow made even the most exhausting days feel worth it, and a career that paid well enough that money was never something we had to stress about. I wasn't some billionaire or anything, but I worked hard, climbed the ladder, and by my mid-30s, I was doing very well. My wife stayed home with the kids for a few years when they were younger, and we could afford that without any problems. On weekends, we'd grill in the backyard. My son would run around pretending to be a superhero, while my daughter tried to convince the dog to wear a princess tiara. My wife would sit on the patio with a glass of wine and laugh at both of them. Honestly, it felt like the life I had worked my entire adult life to build. But my life wasn't just my wife and kids. I had my parents, my older brother, and my younger sister. We all lived in the same city. Growing up, my parents drilled one belief into us over and over again. Family comes first. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, always. And because I was the one who ended up becoming the most successful financially, that belief slowly turned into something else, something I didn't fully understand at the time. It turned into responsibility, or at least what everyone else believed was my responsibility. And for years, I went along with it. At first, helping my family felt good. It didn't feel like a burden. It felt like doing the right thing. My older brother Mark worked construction. Some years were good, some weren't. My younger sister Emily worked part-time while raising her 2 kids. They weren't struggling terribly, but they definitely lived paycheck to paycheck. So when I started making good money, helping them felt natural. If we all went out to dinner, I paid. If there was a family vacation, I covered the Airbnb. If my parents' car needed repairs, I'd quietly take care of the bill. At the beginning, everyone was incredibly grateful. My mom would hug me and say things like, "You're such a good son." My sister would text me long messages saying thank you. Even my brother, who isn't exactly the emotional type, would clap me on the shoulder and say, "I appreciate you, man." And honestly, those moments felt good. I wasn't doing it for praise, but it felt nice knowing I could help the people who raised me and grew up with me. For years, this was just normal. Family dinners, family trips, family birthdays, and me picking up the bill. But somewhere along the way, something changed. At first, it was subtle. So subtle, I didn't even notice it happening. The first sign was when people stopped saying thank you. It sounds small, but it was noticeable. We'd go out to dinner with everyone, my parents, my brother's family, my sister's family. And when the check came, everyone would just look at me. Not in a grateful way, more like it was obvious what was about to happen. I'd reach for the bill, and nobody even pretended to offer anymore. Then the requests started getting bigger. My sister once called me and said, "Hey, the kids really want to go to Disney next summer. Think you could help out?" My brother asked if I could loan him money for a truck upgrade. My parents started suggesting family vacations that were way more expensive than anything we used to do. And every time, the assumption was the same. I'd handle it. One night after a big family dinner, we got in the car and my wife was quiet. I asked her what was wrong. She hesitated before saying, "Do you ever feel like your family expects you to pay for everything?" I laughed it off. "Come on, they don't expect it. I just do it because I can." She didn't argue, but she didn't look convinced either. At the time, I thought she was overthinking things. Looking back, she saw the problem long before I did. My wife is one of the most patient people I know. She didn't immediately confront me or criticize my family. Instead, she just observed. Over time, she started pointing out little things. One night, she said, "Did you notice your sister ordered the most expensive thing on the menu tonight?" I shrugged. "So?" She said earlier that money was tight this month. I didn't think much of it. Then another time, after we paid for a beach vacation for everyone, my wife asked something that stuck with me. "Did anyone thank you?" I thought about it and realized, no, not really. They all had fun. They all enjoyed it. But nobody had actually thanked me. Again, I defended them. They're family. They don't need to say thank you every time. My wife looked at me for a moment before saying something that would stick in my mind for months. There's a difference between helping family and being used. I hated hearing that. It felt like she was attacking my parents, my brother, my sister. So I shut the conversation down. But once that idea entered my mind, I started noticing things. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The moment everything clicked happened at my dad's birthday dinner. We were at a nice steakhouse. There were 10 of us at the table. Halfway through the meal, my brother started talking about how expensive everything was getting. Then he laughed and said something that hit me like a punch to the chest. "Good thing we've got our rich brother here." Everyone laughed. My sister added, "Yeah, seriously, if it wasn't for you, we'd never come to places like this." But the way they said it wasn't gratitude. It was expectation. Then my dad looked at the check when it arrived and slid it across the table toward me without even making eye contact, just like it was automatic. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. I realized something painful. I wasn't helping them anymore. I was financing them. And worse, they believed they deserved it. A few weeks later, my brother called. "Hey man," he said casually, "Emily's having trouble paying for her kid's school trip. Think you could cover it?" Normally, I would have said yes immediately, but this time I paused, and I said something I had never said before. "I think Emily should handle that herself." There was a long silence. "What?" he said. "I've helped a lot over the years," I told him, "but I think everyone should start taking care of their own expenses." The reaction was immediate. "You're serious?" "Yeah." He laughed, but not in a friendly way. "Wow, someone's changed." Within 2 days, my mom called. She sounded upset. "We didn't raise you to be selfish," she said. Selfish. After years of helping them. That word stuck with me like a knife. Once I stopped paying for things, everything changed. Family dinners stopped happening. When they did invite us, the tone was cold. My sister accused me of thinking I was better than everyone. My brother said money had gone to my head. Even my parents started guilt-tripping me constantly. "Family is supposed to help each other," my mom would say. Eventually, the conversations turned into full arguments. One night, my brother actually yelled at me. "You've got this big house, fancy cars, vacations every year, and you can't help your own family?" I told him something I should have said years earlier. "I've helped plenty, but my responsibility is my wife and kids." He called me greedy. That was the night I decided to step back completely. No more financial help, no more arguments, just distance. But unfortunately, my family didn't handle that well. I wish the story ended there, but it didn't. At first, the rumors started. Apparently, I had abandoned my family. Some relatives stopped talking to me because they only heard my parents' version of the story. Then, weird things started happening. My brother showed up at my house unannounced several times. My sister started messaging my wife, trying to guilt her. Then, someone contacted my workplace claiming I was involved in financial fraud. It was obviously nonsense, but it was still stressful. That's when my wife sat me down one night and said something that changed everything. "We need to get away from this." I didn't want to believe it had gotten that bad, but deep down, I knew she was right. The decision to move wasn't easy. We loved our house. Our kids loved their school. Our entire life was there. But every time my phone rang, I felt anxiety. Every time there was a knock on the door, I wondered if it was my brother again. Finally, one night, my wife said quietly, "Your family isn't acting like family anymore." That was the truth I had been avoiding. So, we made a plan. Within 3 months, we sold the house. We found a place in another city several hours away, and we didn't tell anyone. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. I blocked their numbers, blocked social media, everything. For the first time in years, the silence felt peaceful. We've been in our new city for almost a year now, and honestly, life feels lighter. My kids are happy. My wife seems more relaxed than she's been in years. Weekends are back to what they used to be. Grilling in the backyard, laughing, spending time together. Sometimes I think about my parents, my brother, my sister, and yeah, part of me still feels sad. They were my family for my entire life. But I also realized something important. Family isn't just about blood. It's about respect. It's about appreciation. It's about caring about each other, not just what you can get from someone. Do I regret walking away? Some days, a little. But when I look at my wife and kids and see the peace we have now, I know I made the right decision. Because at the end of the day, protecting the family you built matters more than pleasing the family you came from. What would you have done in his place? Would you have continued helping your family? Or would you have done the same thing he did? Write your opinion in the comments. Personally, I believe he made the right choice.